Roe versus Wade.
I love that introduction. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
Bestie.
Yes, and to
Back
all
again, I
viewers,
see.
yes, and to all our lovely viewers out there in internet land, welcome to another episode of Pretty Smart. Yes, we're here for it. We are here for it. We got the lovely Camille, Tracy, Tashay, and Sydney. Listen, we've got a treat for you guys today. I'm your host, Darvinique, and this is my beautiful co-host here. Ooh, wait, hold on. What? Why is that on there? I don't know, but we're going to keep it rolling. Today's topic is self-care and why. Come on, somebody. Ooh, I'm getting
self-care, yes.
Why self-care isn't selfish.
Ooh. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
Let's get into it, ladies.
I know for one, you are a woman who really makes and takes the time for self-care. So we're going to start with you. You know, how did you get to a place where you pulled that in, you owned it, and you said, I'm going to have it no matter what? Talk to us about that.
Okay, wait, first of all, can I just say your makeup is fabulous?
Yes, you look beautiful.
That's what self-care is to me. And when I see some beauty, you know, makeup or time that a woman has taken to care for herself, that's self-care. So I can already see that you have done your self-care today, young lady.
Hey,
now, on the other hand, my self-care today has been going out to get Jamba Juice.
I love
that. Nice. Only because sometimes it's not so much about what we're doing with the outer side of ourselves, right? It's not about what we're doing to our beauty and all that, but what are we putting in on the inside? Because we need to make sure what's going on the inside is also reflected on the outside. So because I've been knee deep in research, being a brainiac today, I didn't get much care, but just going to Jamba Juice. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
Gonna take a win. I'm gonna take that.
Yes, Jamba Juice is good. Jamba Juice is good for the body. That's why that brain is working so good. That brain is working well. We love it, Camille.
Thank you, boo.
Sydney, you're welcome. Sydney, talk to us about your self-care and when did you start prioritizing that?
I mean, self-care goes a lot of different ways. Self-care can go like mentally, it can go, you know, outside physically, it also goes internally. Like Camille was saying. You know, one self-care thing that I did change was I'm vegetarian. I don't eat meat. My motto is I don't put things that aren't alive in my living body. So that's kind of my new motto.
Okay.
Fruit's alive when you eat it. Veggies are still alive when you eat it.
Yes, I'm gonna sip that.
And then mentally, I learned through like COVID and everything that planting plants, I probably have over 100 in my house. Yes. Plants are like a mental thing for me. I like to plant. I like to grow them from like babies to big plants. So I kind of take that every day as like a self-care thing to do. To go through, water them, neem oil them. It sounds kind of lame, but it's like something, you know.
No, it's not lame.
Do you not sing, at all. Not
do you
at
sing
all.
to your plants?
Girl, yes. I talk to them. People are gonna think I'm weird, but I give them kisses sometimes and tell them how beautiful they are. And someday I'm just gonna bring it in and be like, look how they thrive. Like,
I think you should be pretty much surrounded by your plants. What do you think, ladies? Because I can appreciate the greenery. I love how you talk to them. They talk back.
I will. Okay, next week I will be in my kitchen just where I have a bunch of plants there. Deal. That's where I'll set up.
Yes, I love that. We're here for that. We are so here.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just some of my self-care. I mean, of course, the typical hair, You know, my face mask, bath bombs, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I will just kind of jump in before we get to Tashay is my internal self-care is way more important than my exterior.
I love that.
You know, beauty without depth is
Agree.
just decoration.
Ooh,
I agree.
okay.
I
Okay,
agree.
like that.
Yeah,
That's
we're pretty
scrolling on the
smart.
bottom somewhere.
We're
Like,
pretty smart, y'all. We're pretty smart. So beauty without depth is just decoration. And I've learned that just through some trials and tribulations and some challenges that I face. My mental state is so important. What I take in is so important. What I'm listening to, what I'm reading. I'm an avid reader. I got books all over my house.
yes,
I
yes.
want to be able to hold a conversation on multiple different topics, you know, and that took some intentional self-care on my part.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? I really had to carve out time, especially after having children. You know, they demand so much time. If you don't have anything carved out, you're gonna be running around like a loose wire, sparking everywhere. And so that was one of the things that I did. So before my children wake up, it's hard, but it's necessary. I get up before my children and I get that me time in.
That's
Prayer,
right.
meditation,
Yeah.
Meditation. Yes.
stretching, bathing, whatever I got to do before they wake up. I fill myself up because if not, mommy's going to be serving from an empty cup and they're going to feel it. They're going to feel that spoon scraping at the bottom of the bowl.
No, I love that, Darwin. That meditation is everything. Me and
It
my wife,
is.
we go to sleep
It
to
is.
meditate. We meditate every night, and we go to sleep to meditation, and we wake up to meditation.
That's
So
beautiful.
it works. I love
That's
it.
beautiful.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
Tashay, I remember when you just had your son, and it's been a mommy roller coaster for the both of us. But I want to know how are you taking care of yourself? What is your self-care regimen, and what's working for you?
So definitely the meditation as well. I do that first thing in the morning to get my mind right. I'm one of those people that are like big over analyzers. Like I overthink literally everything, every scenario, every situation. I always overthink it. So I feel like it's important for me to start off, well, even at nighttime before bed, to meditate so I don't think too much. Because I've gotten to the point where like I had to take medication just to sleep because I would just be
Wow.
thinking so much.
Wow.
But I don't really like to put all that stuff in my body. So I started doing the meditation at night, and that really helps. And then in the morning, that really helps. When I first had my son, it was bad. Like I had the postpartum, and then just him in the
Wow.
hospital because I had him preterm. So it was just a lot to take on, and I had to find things to do. Thankfully, I had a village. It's important to have a village to help me get through things, and I was able to take walks in the park, take a lot of time to myself to relax, so I didn't have to like get up and be in mommy mode and be like, oh Lord, what am I going to do next? Like it does take time, but finding something that works for you, I think is definitely beneficial. Another thing I love to do is listen to music. If I'm
Oh,
really
yes.
That's
Yes, if
it.
I'm really stressing, it has to be like a jazz or R&B.
I was
If
just getting ready to ask you, what's your genre? What is your genre?
I'm like really upset about something, I like to do something hip so that I'll get into like dancing and stuff,
That's
and then that puts me in a better mood. So yes, I love that. Music is my life. I love music. I don't know what I would
yes.
do without it.
Yes. Speak about it.
Too, Tashay?
Say that
You're a
again.
musical genius as well, right? I mean, isn't music or singing or something like that one of your talents?
It is not, unfortunately. I love it. I do love to sing, yes, but y'all be like,
In
oh
the
no,
shower? Okay, got
oh no. Like,
it.
I'll leave that for Darvinique.
No, wait a second though. I love how Camille was so sure with that approach. She was so sure, like she just knew that was a thing. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, well, because I remember her having a mic in our intro, and she was like, pantomiming that I'm singing. So I was thinking, oh,
Yeah.
maybe she's
Oh, I
singing
love
that,
to sing.
you know?
Yes, I
So,
love
but
to sing. I will sing y'all to death, but y'all will be like, girl, no.
I can't sing either, but
We love it. And Tracy, thank you so much for sharing that, Tasha. We love that. Music is always good for the soul. Music is a mood changer for sure. It can take
Most
you up,
definitely.
take you down. It could evoke memories and things that you got over.
Oh yeah.
But the right song during the right season of your life hits just perfectly, doesn't it? We can
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Tracy, tell us and the viewers that are watching, what was it what were the steps that you had to take for self-care?
What I started to do, and I'm taking a page out of Tasha's and Sydney's book, because the first thing I do when I'm going through anything, whether I'm happy, sad, whatever, is I'm putting on some music. That is the first thing. And about a year ago, I got into gardening. So just to the left of me is my patio. I have, just to name a few, I have jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, sweet potatoes, cabbage, kale, tomatoes, blackberries, strawberries, watermelons. I have them all growing in my backyard.
I love
that.
I go out there every morning between 6:30 and 7, and I too talk to my plants, and I swear they talk back. It's just so relaxing, and just to watch them grow from these little seedlings to these beautiful plants. I just made spaghetti this evening with peppers out of my garden,
I love
onions
it.
out of my garden.
That's the
everything straight out of the garden, and it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to nurture something and see it grow.
Absolutely.
Not unlike a child, they don't talk back. So,
well, just so you know, the way you are right on with them when they do talk back. So, okay, so I've been looking at research. Scientists have found that they actually do talk, and plants talk to each other. Mushrooms actually communicate with each other. They send vibrations to each other that is similar to human language.
No way.
Vibrations.
Yes, I love that.
And I'm telling you right now, there's plants. I had a peace lily on my piano, and I couldn't, for some reason, it just kept dying. I kept feeding it, bringing it back to life, but it just wouldn't stay. And it was so lonely. It was the only plant. I moved it to my kitchen corner where I have like 30 other plants, and that thing came back to life.
Really?
Yeah,
my
it came
mom
back
and
to
I are trying to figure out how to get the peace lily to come back.
Put it by other plants.
Yes.
Put it by other plants. Mine came back to life, and now it's thriving, and it finally grew its peace lilies. And I'm like, good job, baby.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
They prove that they do talk to each other. They also prove that plants have like fear responses. Like if you tell a plant you're going to light it on fire, they had it connected to like brain things like they put on our head. And it was showing responses of negative, like almost like fear. Yeah.
This is beyond me. This is so incredible.
So
but it really makes sense. Because my watermelons were not growing right. And I went and I just started massaging. I'll pick them up. They're so little. I'll pick them up and I'll just like rub on them. Rub on them like, come on, baby, you can grow. You can grow. Now I have these nice like palm, like my size of my hand, because they had really just, the growth had stunted. They were just little bitty things, the size of walnuts. And exactly. Like, why aren't they growing? Why aren't they growing? So I just started picking them up. It's like, come on, babies, come.
They needed love too.
Yeah. They're growing.
You ladies, my plant lovers, Tracy and Sydney, have just given me hope and just given me life, because I was always afraid to have real plants. I got a couple faux plants around here, but I was definitely afraid of having real plants in my home because I thought that I wouldn't be able to take care of them. But now I'm thinking my plants will actually do marvelous, outstanding in my atmosphere. Yes. I give so much love, and I sing and I dance and I talk to I talk to
the number one killer of houseplants, and the number one killer of plants is overwatering. That's how people kill their plants. You have literally water that thing once a week, maybe. How you tell is stick your finger an inch down in the soil. If it's dry all the way around, water it. If it's still moist, don't water it. That's the rule.
I want to get a plant now. I need to because I love life. And so one of the things that I do, my children are my plants right now. Okay.
That's it.
One of the things I make it mandatory is that we listen to kids' affirmations in the morning, especially during school year. So I can just imagine just the atmosphere that I like to be around, that the plants would benefit from it.
Yes, because they feed off your energy. They feed off your energy.
Yeah, exactly. We have to remember we're energy.
Plants are beneath.
Everything is energy.
Mhm.
So the plants and us as we interact in
Mhm.
our atmosphere. I mean, like I'm a big firm believer in crystals,
Oh,
plants, positive
absolutely.
affirmations,
Yes.
meditation, all of the things
Law
that
of attraction.
yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
exactly. The
Yes.
spiritual practice is a form of self-care. That is how you fuel yourself energetically, spiritually, and protect yourself also, like your aura. Like these are the things that we can't see, just like we're not able to see the plants when they're moving and opening up and gravitating towards the sun. We're not able
Mhm.
to see that, but we're not able to see our auras as well as we are around negative people or low vibrational entities that are eating low vibrational foods. What it's doing to us energetically. So all
Yes,
these
ma'am.
things are great ways to, surround yourself with beauty, so that you remember how beautiful you are on the inside and keep your vibrations high.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Love that. I love that. So
Mhm.
with keeping, we're gonna carry that, Camille. We're gonna carry that into the next phase here with keeping our vibrations high, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Because this that ties into self care.
it does.
You're really self caring for yourself. Your vibrations will be high. There are
Mhm.
naturally. So I want to know what was some of the, because we're talking about self care and why self care isn't selfish. I'm sure we've all been through a phase where we did feel that the self care that we needed was being selfish at one point in time. What time was that, and when did it stop?
Ooh.
I know.
Now I can say for
Honestly,
me personally, it's been, I felt like I always had to give all, I had my first child at 17. So I'm just going to say that I have, my whole life has been dedicated to somebody else, taking care of somebody else. Well, I recently retired in December. And at that point, I said, I can't, I have nothing else to give. I have to recharge my battery. I have to start taking care of me. If there's nothing left of me, I can't take care of everybody else. And my family was like, everybody's in shock. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Just decide that you're going to be selfish and take care of yourself. I moved
Yes.
away. I
Mm.
started growing the garden. I
Yeah.
now I now shut my phone off at 7 p.m.
Yes.
because I mentally have to be better than I've ever been before to myself.
Mm.
Yes,
And
yes,
it
Can we
just
clap
started for
for
me
that?
like a year
Can we just
ago.
clap for that
yes,
owning that spirit?
yes.
Do
I
you
had no
know?
choice.
I love that, Tracy. Do you know that? Well, that's a form of setting healthy boundaries, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
That's a form of setting healthy boundaries. Do you know that saying no is self-respect? Every time we say yes, when we know we should be saying no, we are
Mhm,
disrespecting ourselves.
mhm.
Yes.
Mm.
And a lot of times, and sometimes when we say no to others, it's going to ruffle some feathers. But ultimately, you have to put your foot down and demand the peace that you know you need. If it makes
Amen.
somebody else upset, that's not your responsibility to manage their emotions.
Yeah.
No,
You have
ma'am.
to serve yourself, in the right way, in the right capacity. So Tracy, you doing that also, not to get like heavy into religious, but do you know setting healthy boundaries is a sign of obedience?
Mhm,
I have to tell you, I agree. It was rough at first because you feel selfish.
mhm.
Yeah.
You feel selfish. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. But I had no choice. When I tell you my cup was empty, as you were saying, I had nothing else to give. I felt like I was going to lose my mind. And I said, no, I have to take care of me. I have to take care of me. I learned to meditate, deep breaths. I have a real bad habit of holding my breath. I mean, and it's just, yeah, you
Like
do the
shallow
same. It's
breathing,
just,
huh?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I
Not
had to say,
breathing
stop,
deeply,
Tracy.
forgetting that you actually have breath and depth in
Exactly
your breath.
that. And I have to sit back and go, stop, breathe, breathe, take your time, breathe.
Mhm.
Again, setting those boundaries. And now it's easy. It's just common now. Again,
Yes.
as I said, the phone shuts off at 7. I
Oh,
do have, the kids know if it's an emergency, they know what to do. But
Right.
other than that, don't call me. Don't
Mhm.
call me. If
I
it's not an
love that.
emergency, don't call me. I don't care who it is. Don't call me after
Mhm.
7.
yeah.
Because again, I have to unwind.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody else? That's good. That's real good.
I feel like it seems like it's hard, it's sad in a sense to see So many of us, because I was like that as well. I was work till exhaustion, give everything you got to everybody, your husband, your child, your community, your church, whatever groups, your sorority, anybody who called. It was yes, 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 until you have nothing left. And when are we, as Black women in particular, because we have the superwoman syndrome, right? You know what I'm saying? We've got the imposter syndrome, the phenomenon. We have so many things that's keeping us working to burnout, working to levels of exhaustion. And without the self care, without the pain in our lives, what would help us correct this? What would bring us back to focus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I experienced through
Mhm.
therapy, because I went through trauma of giving so much to where it caused me to be in the hospital, right? And so one of the things that my therapist at the time told me, she said, "What do you enjoy doing?" When she asked me that, I looked to the stars. I said, "Darvinique, what do you enjoy doing?" I couldn't grab one thing.
Mhm.
I had lost myself in the sauce of pleasing other people so much, and just being in the gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta get this done, gotta get this done. And I realized that not prioritizing my self-care
Mhm.
put me in that position.
Yeah.
Do, I think we're going to let's dive in a little bit more about that,
Okay.
right?
We do. We
Because
do.
I wasn't getting up and being intentional about the time that I needed to keep myself at a sound mind, to
Yeah.
keep myself at peace, to keep my heart strong, to keep my love strong. When I
Mhm.
wasn't doing that, I don't know what I was spreading out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very true.
That's yeah.
You know what? Like I mentioned before,
Yeah.
she told me, take the cape off.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Take it
something?
off.
We don't
Stop.
have to be strong all the time. We can be vulnerable. We can be women. We can be, I don't want to say weak. I just want to say we can be soft. We can be feminine. We can still
Right. But
be
we
sensual.
as women are so used to putting out that masculine energy though, because we have to do it all. We
Yeah.
feel like we have to do it
Exactly.
all.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And I think it's generational. It's so hard for us to
Mhm.
ask somebody for help. It's, I can do it myself. I got this. I got this. Don't worry about it. I got this.
Yeah.
And then we just burn ourselves out without even realizing it. We are burning ourselves out.
Yeah. That's
That's
a
right.
lack of feeling safe.
Right.
I, yeah,
That's a lack
good. That's,
of feeling safe
Hmm.
because when you don't feel safe, you do it yourself to protect your fear or the fear
yes.
that you have. That's one of the things that we do. And so right now I'm in a season of soft.
Hmm.
I love that you said that word. I'm in a season of soft because, ooh, I listen, thank goodness for the wine because it's stopping me from crying. Me being in this,
Right.
so me understanding where I was and what I'm practicing now in this season of soft is naturally when somebody say, "Oh, you want me to carry that for you?" I say, "No, I got it." In my season of soft, I'm accepting all forms of help.
Yeah.
Can I take your trash out?
Good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Good
Sure.
for you.
yeah.
Thank you.
You want me
We need to give her a clap for that. I think we need to do that.
Right? Right?
And all the women out there who's learning
That's
to be
beautiful.
soft, who's learning to appreciate the femininity, who's learning to rise to the goddess consciousness, because that's where we once were. Like Sydney, last week, you were talking about it right in the beginning. It was about the matriarch, baby. It was about the
Yes.
man respecting the woman. There was no disrespecting music
Oh,
and
back,
media.
back before how it
Back,
used
back, back when, Sydney, tell them,
yeah,
like, remind
back
us
in the
what was a
beast.
goddess.
I
Okay.
don't know. It was yeah, women used it was way back before they even knew really science like that. Like women, they thought we were magical because they didn't understand how we could have children. So, women
Well, I
and
like
then
that word.
centuries and years after we were worshipped and Egypt women were worshipped, other places, plenty of places women have always been worshipped, and then science and colonization came around.
And the
Sydney,
patriarch
you are
Mm,
spit up.
oh, you are
mm.
so right. You are so right. Now, when we bathe, when we go under the water of our femininity, being
Mhm.
feminine, loving yourself, moisturizing yourself, that's big. Put that heavy cream on, right? And really loving on. And that's another thing that I've learned with self-care. I give myself hugs. I'm moisturized. Now here's the thing, we all moisturize our skin, but sometimes we just put lotion on. I'm just rubbing the lotion on because I don't want to be ashy. But I really am intentional about how I'm rubbing my body when I put the oil on.
Upwards.
Cream word on and but I'm taking the time, I'm caressing myself.
That's good.
I'm caressing my arms, I'm caressing my feet. Just like you speak to them plants, I speak to my calves.
Wow.
I speak to my breasts. I speak to my stomach and my stretch marks.
Yes.
And I love everything about you.
Wow, amen. I like that.
Yes.
Self-love, self-care if you dare.
And so, and that the self-care, being intentional, taught me to take my time. It taught me to take my time in life, and it taught me to take my time and be space for grace for myself. You need to do that. You need to do that. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Sometimes I forget because I vacillate between the two of getting stuff done and really loving on myself. But it's a practice. It's definitely a practice. What I will say is that building my energy up and self-care with myself, I'm starting to see myself be more serene, like more people are drawn to me.
It's your aura.
Okay.
Your aura. People are drawn to the light. With so much darkness in the world right now, that's why we need more empaths. We need more light workers, more women who are okay with being less in their masculinity. Because it's just like you know how it is when you are like it's stronger to be reserved, it's stronger to be submissive. Is this a choice? It's a choice of restraint. You can be angry and just blah, 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 or you can have some restraint. And so I feel like when you're working in your divine femininity, it's you really having some restraint. It's really you showing that you are powerful because you can be masculine just like anybody else.
Yes.
But to operate in that femininity, to use that Black girl magic, don't be a woman who is okay with being alone, as they say, is independent, okay, knows how to love herself. That's a dangerous woman right there. That's a dangerous woman.
Knowing how to love herself. That
Knowing
yeah,
how to
that
love
right there is
herself.
the one.
That's where we need to be. Dangerous.
But what I find for myself personally, because I don't care if anybody likes me or not likes me, I like me. And I love to be with me. And that's real. I can take myself to the movies. I can take myself out to dinner. And I love my company. And I know that I've come across so many people who want to extinguish that light. And they are mentally and emotionally, physically draining. And this is why I'm teetering between becoming more of an introvert, because you burned out from people always taking life from you, just sucking all the energy out of you.
Yeah.
And they want to extinguish that light. And it's like, why are there so many mean people in this world? We should be lighting each other's fires. Like if you see somebody whose flame is diminished, why don't you go and help that person instead of throwing water on them to help put them out? Uplift that person. It will take nothing from you to uplift somebody else that you see is down. But I run across so many women that look just like me, that all they want to do is, just keep dumping on me and dumping on me and dumping on me. And it's like, I can't let you do it anymore. I just have to back away. I don't like it because, I can be social with the people I really am comfortable and social with. But I'm backing away from a lot of people because I can't afford, and that's part of my self-care. I can't afford to let you keep sucking the life out of me. And I don't like it. Right. You can't steal my joy. But people will continue to try and try. So I'm kind of teetering between, what do I do? Do I, revert back to my, old ways and okay, I'm going to help you. But then I'm burnt out? Or do I just say, hey, listen, I got to back up?
Yes, you do.
I have to back up.
Yes.
And I have to be selfish and take care of me.
Yeah.
But I can tell it is still hard because I do enjoy helping people. I never want to see anybody without. I never want to see anybody hurting. I never want to see anybody in any sort of distress.
Yeah. With this, that's beautiful, Tracy. I love that. I love, like, you just take a step back. Can we clap for that step back? We encourage you to take a step back. We encourage you to take a step back.
Catch my hug.
Yeah.
No, right?
I love it. Now, we have so many genres of age brackets within this community that we're in on Pretty Smart, right?
Yes.
And I remember speaking to a wise young man. Anyways, let me get that smile out.
Ooh,
Young man.
Jesus,
He had a lot of wisdom. I'm gonna know. No, we ain't gonna drop no names.
Oh my.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Please drop the name.
he was so smart. No, he is so smart. Currently, still very smart. But one of the things that he highlighted was the phases that most people go through: 20s, 30s,
Yes.
40s, and then beyond that, right? So one of the things somebody says,
Yes. Beyond that.
Harmony.
Yes.
So in the 20s, there's a lot of lack of self-care because a lot of times, typically, when we're in our 20s, we are moving to get attention from the world around us. And we have that pick me syndrome. Look at me, 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 look at me. And then we get to a point to where when we get closer to our 30s, we're starting to realize, shit, I am tired of the pick me. And you step back and you start tapping into, I'm just going to do me. But from time to time, while you're in your 30s, you still kind of want to be seen, I guess. But like when you hit like 35, you're like, child. Now, wait, hold on. I can't wait to get to 40.
Wait, I'm on what? 30s and 40s?
Don't jump yet, Camille. Don't jump. So like your 30s, you're looking at the 20-year-old and you're like, oh, that's cute. Look at her. Remember that? Yourself up. Oh, that's cute. Then when you get to 40, you're like, child, give me my wine. I'm not worried about these people.
No, when you get to 40, it's this.
Yes, it's sexy.
Yes. Like, I don't give a damn. I am here. I've arrived. Whatever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? 40.
Because I feel your energy. You have this core that is like a strong pillar. You own your femininity. You're very sexy, and not in a way where you're expressing sex.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You're not being explicit. It's just knowing knowing your value and appreciating what you contribute. And it's like when that is sexy to me. That is so pretty smart. That's a pretty smart move.
Thank you, Davini, darling.
Yes.
I admire it.
Yeah, because life to me didn't even begin until I would hit 42.
See?
It's like that's when life just really everything made
I
sense.
need this energy right now because
everything made sense to me. When I hit 42, everything just seemed to have fallen into place. Now I'm in my 50s now.
Wait a second. So this gentleman is 42 that spoke to me. He said, wait till you get to my age. That's what he was telling me.
It all seems to, for some reason, just start to fall into place. Everything starts to make sense. Those little puzzle pieces that's all over the place, now they just start to fit in, and you can go, now I understand why that happened. And you start to react different through, stuff happens in life. It has less of an impact because now I think your intellect, you're on a whole different level. It's no more popping off and hey, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now I'm going to accept it and we're going to move past it. I didn't get that way until I hit my 40s. I mean, really, at 42, like I said, the light bulb came on. And then when I hit 50, it was like, okay, I really started to feel grown and sexy at 50. Really, I really did. At that point, I was like, kids are grown and gone, or dang near. And it was like, hey, they're about grown and gone. And now hey, listen, hey.
Okay, Tracy, you trying to act like you're a happy married woman. You
better stop playing
now.
Hey, listen. And I'm going to tell you, and my husband will tell you, when I hit 50s, he was like, okay, stop playing. Yeah, I mean, I've never been like a real prude, but you know what I'm saying. The V-neck shirt started coming on, and
Ooh, okay.
I just started doing things a little different, and hey. So I'm just
Yes.
saying, after 42, beautiful. Things just seem so different.
I love
Things that
that.
used to stress you before.
I'm excited. I mean, it
Yeah.
really does give us something to look forward to every step of the way.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much. Because
yeah.
I
I'm
know at
representing
30,
for the old
Tyson, you're
folks.
like, oh my God, 30. 30s, honeys, it's like, for me, I felt like 30 is the new 20. Like, as they say, 40 is the new 30. It
I'm hearing
really,
that
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just more sure of yourself, more confident, more, intelligent.
I'm 34, and I'm at a space right now where I'm saying, I'm in a space right now. I'm okay with letting go easily. It's more easy to let go.
Mhm.
It's more easy for me to really choose my battles.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
It's more easy for me to say, I'm about to sit at home. I'm not about to go out tonight.
Yes,
Oh yeah, that's a big one for me.
right. I would rather have my work or my Netflix. Okay, depends.
Yes.
You deserve my presence or not.
Wow.
COVID didn't help with that either. I would be honest. Like
At all. Like COVID really messed it up for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
I forget it. Now we got this monkeypox they talk about. I'm a suicide.
I got social anxiety now.
Watch My Criminal Minds on Hulu.
See?
Well, I have a question. I have
Yeah.
a question, ladies. Does self-care look different when you're in a relationship?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, talk.
I don't think
I
Okay.
think it's challenging. I think it's very challenging.
I wouldn't. Wow, I didn't think it would be. I don't think it would be. Once you, like, for me by myself, if I'm here's another thing with being single. I feel so sexy and single. I'm gonna love this single stage in my life. I am loving it, y'all. I was married for 10 years. But see, I was married during my 20s where I was still figuring out who I am, what I wanted
Yes.
to do. I was still figuring out a lot of stuff, and I was the pick me wife. I'll do it. Fuck off. Oh, excuse me.
no,
No, tell it like it is. Tell it like
said
it
it
is.
right.
I'm in a space right now. Eventually I'll start dating, but I kind of took a step back from dating because I tried and I'm like, I'm not ready. But one of the things that I'm doing it, or that I will do when I do start dating, is letting that person be who they are first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
important.
that's a part of my self-care too, to decide whether I want to participate in how you live and how you love.
Organic.
Very true. Very true.
Mhm.
So my thing is to just, we could spend some time together, but I want to see how you live. I want to see what your daily routine is. I want to see how you schedule your life. I want to see do you know your purpose, right? I want to just see how you are being yourself. I'm not going to come in and change nothing, because you're not going to do that to me. You're not going to do it to me. You're not.
Okay.
Me.
See, that eyeshadow though, like that
That's
beauty
right.
eyeshadow was popping. That's all I gotta say. Is that lash pop?
So my thing is, we need. Oh yes, we need to. Okay, got it. I got the side notes. So that's the thing. I want to learn how you live first. I want to see how you love first before I decide I want to participate in your life in the way you love. I make the decision now.
I agree, because they have to be on the same page. And the reason I say that self-care looks a little different when you're in a relationship is because you still do need to be mindful. They need to be mindful of your needs, your wants, and the things that you have to do to take care of yourself. You still have to be mindful of the things that they need and want. So you guys always have to be on that same page. And I have been blessed to find somebody who is on that same page.
Yeah.
So when I'm taking care of myself, actually, he's taking care of himself as well.
Right.
And we just,
Perfect.
I love to travel, absolutely love to travel. And so does he. And that's one of the things that we do. We're going to make sure we vacation 2 to 3 times out of the year. And when we're on that vacation, straight relaxation. We are relaxing. We are chilling. No phones, no internet, no sitting there looking at Snapchat and, TikTok and Instagram. It's put it all down.
Come
Put it all
on.
down and just spend time with each other. And sometimes it's okay to not spend. He loves to work out. I don't. So his self-care is going to the gym. So he may like, babe, I'm up, I'm out, going to work out. Cool. I can't and will not get mad anytime he wants to do something for himself. That's why I say it looks a little different, because you still have to be mindful of the needs and wants of other people.
That part.
You do. You still have to be mindful, and they have, you have to have a mate that's on the same page. Otherwise, then, if they're not into self-care, but you are, now they're making you feel guilty because you want to do. No.
Right. That's where that's that vetting process that I was talking about. I want to see how you live and love and learn first.
Yeah. And my son said, if a flag is yellow, eventually it's going to turn red. So if you see a yellow flag, walk away. Walk away, because it's going to turn red.
Tracy, ladies, pretty smart. You know what I recently just discovered?
What?
Oh my goodness. I was so like, oh my goodness. So I learned that if you meet somebody and all this, like you get anxiety and you start sweating and like tripping out, that's not your person.
Yeah,
that's not your.
I heard something about that.
No, that's not your person.
Yeah, that's not your person. And but we taught the opposite. That devil told us all a lie, right? That when you feel that your stomach getting a knot, that's the one. No, it's not. What about the girl that hell with all them knots?
No.
That's your guardian angel telling you back up.
Exactly.
That's your guardian angel telling you back up and get the heck up out of there.
What did how did that flag was burnt red when I seen it? I don't know why I still jumped in head first and hit the cement.
Okay, I think we've all had some burnt.
I think everybody does that.
Yeah.
Right? When you hit 42, you won't do it anymore.
I'm 34. I'm not doing it
more at 31.
Listen,
no,
Sydney, you see. Listen, I've learned in my education, knowledge. You know what? I've heard this is a quote: "The more you know, the more you grow.
Knowledge is power."
Hold on. Yes. The more you grow, the further you go.
Well.
So with that being said, listen, when you touch something hot, you know what hot look like, right? Love feels good. Love is encouraging. Love is comforting. Love is supportive.
Yes.
Love heals.
Yes. It's not supposed to ever hurt. Never should it ever hurt.
Also, love is 1 degree of insanity too. So there is a
but they line between
I love passionately.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm just kidding. Y'all, come on now. I gotta bring some spice in your life.
You're not wrong. But
okay, go ahead, Sydney, please.
No, all I was saying is also love also when like in marriage and anything else, it's about commitment too. Not just love, because love isn't there all the time when you don't like that.
Oh no.
Not there all the time when you don't like that. You always love them, but you don't always like them. So sometimes it comes down to commitment. That commitment you made to them. Boy, at times.
Amen.
Yes. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Everybody said they meditated. Okay.
But I think it also comes with, knowing yourself and self-respect, because I would never disrespect myself to do anything that would ultimately end up disrespecting him and the relationship. I just like myself too much to do something crazy like that. But there are plenty of times where you're like, listen, you just give me 2 cents and you can have him. Like, he's a good, and that's why I said my husband's a really good dude. But there are those moments. There's those times. So if somebody is to think that relationships are going to be, fairy tale rainbows and sunshine, no.
Sometimes you want. What'd you say to me?
Yeah. You know what I've learned? There's no such thing as the perfect person, but there is the such thing as the right person. You can be right.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
You said it right when you said like because think about this. If you respect yourself, and I think it comes down to it, you're like proving that when you respect yourself so much, you're gonna respect your partner too. You can't respect and love everybody else until you kind of love and respect yourself.
I agree. I agree.
The fact that you do, Tracy, is why you guys have such that great relationship, and you respect him, and it's because you know how to love yourself, so you know how to love him.
I do.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
love
Oh,
it.
wait,
You
hold
love
on.
yourself.
I gotta dive in, Camille, and then I'm coming to you, Tashay. Camille, how did you start learning to love yourself?
Yeah, good
How
question.
did you know what learning to love yourself was? What is that? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I love myself? I had to learn this. This is why I'm asking.
Y'all, unfortunately, I wish I could say, you know what? I just woke up one day and it was awesome. I just,
Mhm.
saw myself and it was great. And I started loving myself. But that's not what happened, and it's unfortunate that a lot of, as we say, pretty smart women find ourselves pretty broken. And so I was
Yes.
broken, honestly. I was broken in my marriage, lost my parents very young in life. So I didn't have like that support system. You know what I'm saying? Like I just didn't have that line of defense that says, hey, this is a good person for you, or this is how you pick a good person. I never knew about personality disorders or narcissisms or
Mm.
empaths, why that is just a bad mix. So I ended up
Yes.
marrying the love of my life, having those butterflies and all those crazy emotions, all those feelings.
Mm.
And man, oh man, I mean, I was broken. I got broken in everything that, like my worst nightmares, my greatest fears came out in this relationship. Baby, out of wedlock, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't have kids anymore. Um, Emotional, physical, psychological, financial abuse. I mean, every possible way I was broken. So I did not have no choice, you know, as God's daughter, as they say, right? As
Yes.
as a light worker and as a being and as a spiritual light, my energy, you can't kill it. You can
Mm.
only fragment it. So I was fragmented to a degree where I just had to regenerate myself, and I learned regeneration. It felt good. So I started doing more things that felt good to me, like working out, like eating, like turning down the cupcakes, because I'm an emotional eater. So doing things that made me feel good and stop doing things that made me feel bad, which included being married to his ass. So very
Mhm.
Well,
journey
well,
to switch gears.
Very good. Very good. Ladies, as we come to a close, I thank you so much, Camille, for sharing that.
Most
I can
welcome.
relate on so
Pleasure.
many levels. I've experienced narcissism. I experienced financial abuse. I experienced emotional, verbal, and physical
Mhm.
abuse. And it takes a toll. But because we are light beings, you ever see that toy? It's like an air toy. You punch it, it falls back, but it comes
come
back,
back.
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Bobblehead.
Yes.
That's who we are on this platform of Pretty Smart. So, in closing, ladies and gentlemen to the audience out there, but ladies here on Pretty Smart, how would you share with those listening? Because we're all going to have a different tip that we can share to those that are watching. How do you prioritize and balance self care, either in a relationship or just alone, you being single by yourself? Tashay, we're going to start with you.
How do I balance that? I don't know. That's kind of tough. I feel like with me, I have to learn. Well, I had to learn self evaluation first. Self evaluation, like, learning your mistakes, learning what you're doing that's not necessarily wrong, but what you're doing that makes people react to ways that you don't like. And I feel like that's where it comes to the accountability for ourselves, that a lot of people don't have that, like, I don't know if it's like something magical, but don't have access to that.
Mm.
So I try to balance that out by learning myself more, learning what my flaws are and loving my flaws. And then understanding that, oh, this is something that, maybe I didn't like the way this person reacted to it. But why don't I fix myself, And I always use this quote that, is the most notorious quote. Notorious when I say that. You can't change the world until you change yourself. So it's
Mm.
like you got to work on
Mhm.
yourself and stop focusing on other people. And that's like the biggest balance for anything. You can't really be in a relationship trying to force this person to change without changing yourself.
Yeah.
So, or if you do, like you said, Darvinique, you don't want to change a man and you don't want a man to change you.
Yeah.
So you have to have that balance of, this is what I want, so this is what I'm going to bring to the table. So yeah, just having that balance of like knowing yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Very
definitely
good.
helpful.
Very good, Tashay. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Sydney. Yeah, I love that. Sydney, what would you say?
Everything.
What would you say?
Honestly, how do you balance it? I balance it. Okay, something I started doing. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance it. Let's be real. But something that I do is I kind of look throughout my week because it's busy. You have work and everything else. And I look at like I'll have maybe if I'm lucky and have 2 days off that week or 2 times where I have some time during the week. One will be to get all the stuff I need done, clean the house, do whatever I got to do. And then the one is like I'll try to make it my self-care day where I do something that I need. And then of course a touch of it every morning or every day with my plants. So, just a little bit and then a lot when you can.
So finding the moments in the midst of your schedule. I love that, Sydney.
Yeah.
Tracy.
Perfectly worded.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have to echo it. So basically, what I do is I just tell myself every day, choose me. I'm going to choose me. I'm at any cost. I'm going to choose me, whatever it takes. If that is just going shopping, which I don't particularly care to do too much, but just walking around the mall, going outside, talking to my plants, my flowers, my garden, whatever it takes, I'm going to choose me for that day. Just listen to some music. I'm just going to choose me.
I love that, Tracy. Very good. And Camille?
For me, I started scheduling it in because it is foreign initially when you don't know how to do it, but then make it a lifestyle. And then you can't have it any other way.
Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from the beautiful my host and co-host, myself and my co-host here live here on Pretty Smart. Chew up the meat and spit out the bones. We all were here to give and to drop some gems. My final notes will be prioritizing the time. I'm piggybacking off of what Camille said and making time for the time that I need to have a sound mind and to have self-care. So we thank everybody for tuning in and for tapping in on another episode of Pretty Smart. It's Pretty Smart, excuse me. We love you all and we look forward to coming back. Have a pretty smart week. Drink responsibly if that's what you're going to do. See you guys next time. See you later.
Bye.